Hello, welcome to Scott's Odyssey. Because of the tall, sheer mountain walls along most of the Scoocuniata River, which is now called the Juniata River, if you seek to cross its waters from Mount Union and into Kistler or Newton Hamilton, you're unfortunately bottlenecked into a single point of crossing. That point of crossing is the Norfolk Southern Mount Union Bridge, which is actually an arch barrel bridge part of the railroad, or what's referred to as the Kistler Bridge, and there's no formal name on it. Walking along the bridge road, there's a little sign that I saw and I thought we should investigate. Welcome to the Mount Union Early Settlers Burial Site. See you in a minute. Welcome back. If you've watched my videos before, thank you for your patronage, and I hope you enjoy this story regarding the early settlers' burial site of Mount Union. If you're new to Scott's Odyssey, welcome aboard, and please take a moment to click subscribe for more of this journey through ODDySEEy stories of who we once were. It costs you nothing but a click and will give you continuous adventures in return. So as I'm walking along, I'm seeing railroad ties that are mostly buried on the side of a highway bridge that goes over into Kistler. So I would come along here while driving. I always saw that little blue sign. Let's get up to it. Please excuse traffic noise, it's loud here. And you'll be able to see this is what the sign looks like from the road as you're driving by in either direction. As we get closer, we can actually see what it says. Let's see if we can get down this little hump here. This is an access road for the old sewer plant. So there's the sign. As you can see, there's really not much to the left or to the right. So we have to find a way to the other side of this hill. And after we go back about 40 or 50 feet, there's a chop, which recently looks like it was dug up to be used for drainage. And somebody decided, let's just drain this down into a cemetery. Why not? Right? What could possibly go wrong? And here we have the cemetery. Born in Germany sometime around 1708, Hans Peter Shaver came to the colonies and worked for the Pennsylvania Colonial Council out of Fredericktown, Maryland, as an Indian trader in 1744. As told in the video regarding the McGuire Massacre, Hans Peter Shaver was granted extremely large tracts of land along his former trading routes, which included the current Petersburg area as well as the Mount Union area. Hans gave the western tract of land to Peter Shaver, where Shaver's Creek is now located, and John the tract where Mount Union is now located. As time passed, people died as they do, and properties were bought, sold, and divided. In 1840, because of the number of people beginning to move into the area for work, a local merchant along the Pennsylvania Canal by the name of John Schroer was having a survey performed by William Pollock against his property and the adjoining property of the descendants of the Shavers. This survey was the first official origin of what would eventually become the borough of Mount Union. I don't know if there's anything over this way. What I do know is that typically these little markers signify a stone, or if not the stone, they're signifying a location where they believe there's interment. When you walk across this area, you can actually feel it. You can definitely feel it. Here's a lot of the stones. We'll come back to these stones in a little bit. A little bit breezy today. During 1841, John Sherrar had a stone building built for his business. In 1849, near the end of the canal days, and the full planning of the new Pennsylvania Railroad being commissioned to replace all the smaller railroads, the dominant property owners of the area, George W. Spear and John Dougherty, went about planning a separation of their properties into 8 square blocks around Pennsylvania Avenue and Water Street. During the same year of planning these housing blocks, Dougherty and Spear began selling off the plots, and in short time, Mount Union was born. Beyond the initial block planning, Mount Union grew by little increments over time as farmers and landowners moved or sold their lands. But that's not the story we're here for today. Today, we're looking at this small cemetery that exists alongside of where the canal would have been located. So I thought it was just going to be these stones on a small plot, but as I started walking, I saw separations and some more stones in the background. They've been clearing it slowly for quite a few years. It's not fully restored. I don't know if it'll ever be fully restored. But this was all really thick, 100 years of growth not too long ago. All of this was overgrown. So here we have markers of plots, potential plots and stones. Base of all these trees have stones in them. Large number of stones too. There's one there. That's not even 4 feet away. Then this one's right there. They're both within 2 feet of each other. We have another obvious marker and then an obvious stone that's covered up in dirt still. We have more markers and stones over here. This atypically would have been a family with children. And then we have single markers. And this goes all the way back. This is all the further it seems like they got in the work that they've been doing recently. Obviously somebody's cut the grass, which is pretty cool. But as we go back, we have more stones against trees. And we have more markers marking small stones that they found. See if we can't clear that. Yeah, a little bit of purple death nettle. There's another one. And we're going back as we're reaching where the canal used to be and the sewer plant. We're walking back and the vegetation is really getting thick back here. But as we come back, you can see a spot where it goes down over here, and there's another marker. Another marker over here. Lots of thorns. Here looks like a large amount of the stone that would have been used for the canal. A lot of trash as well. There's some white stone down there. I don't know if that was marble for the bridge or some old headstones that might have gotten pushed down or pushed away over the years. That's a marker. So we're all the way back here. Bear with me while I go through the thorn bushes. And we come over this way. We have lots of heavy vegetation. This is right on the side of the road and right before the bridge. It's surrounded on all sides by, there's a lot of trash. People have been dumping trash over here. This could have been part of the canal. Here's another marker and another stone. So I was originally thinking it was, a family cemetery with probably 10, 15, 20 people in it. But based on how far back it goes and how far apart these stones are by the tree here, and that the markers go past that large tree up there, there were hundreds of people buried here. Hundreds. At least a couple of hundred. So a lot of these stones are the older stones, the older sandstone. And what they said, it looks like it's long gone. All right, I did some adjustments. See if we can't get the stone to reveal some secrets to us. Combination of the angle. I can't make out what it says. Maybe the camera can. Can you see if you can make that out? Called Leslie over. Let her use her magic eyes. There's another one. This one somebody painted. There was paint or, let's see, chalk. Somebody put chalk on this one. Nope, it's paint. Trying to get it to reveal itself. Jessie, Jesse Myers. Jesse Myers. When were you, Jesse? 1882. That could have been birth or death. Some of these stones are old. This has writing clear down into the dirt. So they're not all shavers, unless they married into the shaver family. Here we have one. This one had paint on it as well. This is Samuel C.O. That may have been an O and a D. Cood. And then we have the top of it. Had some really nice ornate design. All right, this is a person hunched over another person who's sitting with something in between them. Maybe a Mary and Joseph with baby Jesus, maybe. Let's see what else we can find. Lots of just stone markers. And as far as I know, there's no records. As far as I know. This is a hefty stone. This one over here. I don't know if it's a hefty stone and somebody tried to carve it, or if it was a carved stone. There's nothing left on this at all. Here's another one, similar. As we walk through, there's lots of root soft spots. There were tons of trees. There were trees everywhere. That's a big base of a tree, just 2 feet, 3 feet away. Another big base of a tree. Another big base of a tree. Somebody pulled up a stone from here. There's one in the earth, not legible. There's one up against a tree. Let's see what we have over here at the tree. Yeah, it has writing on it. It's so faint. There's just nothing left. That almost looks like a skull with the shape, but that's not carved into it. That's a stain. So here we have a stone. There's writing on it, Thomas, Thomas. I don't know what's above it. I don't want to uncover it too much. It's probably better protected by the earth right now. I can't make out what's on that one or on this one. We're going to go over and visit the ones around the base of the tree here. It's really, really amazing that right next to a highway, they built a huge bridge to cross instead of the train bridge over this way. Built this bridge so cars can go from Mount Union over to Kistler area. And this just got, they just pushed the dirt over this. Same with the canal and Same with the fact that on the other side behind me is the old sewer plant, an actual sewer plant, and it's right up against the back of this, so you know that they knew that this was here. There's even records from 1953 expansion of 522, which is a highway that goes underneath the bridge and runs along the actual Juniata River. There's 1953 expansion notes telling them that this was here, and there was no concern for it because it's probably a good 200 yards from the highway, but they knew it was here, and nobody's done anything. Let's get back to the tree over here. So here we have James Shaver, 1845, 42 years of age, of her age, not James. Jane, that's Jane. Jane is a direct relative through marriage with Hans. Learning more and more of this stuff as we do these shows. This one, 19-year-old, no, 49. Gone but not forgotten. Can't make out your name. Maybe the camera can. We'll lighten that up in post-production, see if we can't get things to show up. I did bring water, but I'm going to avoid putting water on anything at this time. Here we have another one. We got H-E-T. T? I'm not sure. I don't want to rub too much. Knock off the real light stuff, but that'll knock off sandstone as well. And here's the top of it. Not the top of this one, top of another one. Can't make out what the symbology was. Here we have Cora, (1865). And this one's either totally blank or the writing's on the other side. Yeah, the writing's on the other side. And watch my shadow. Too much sunlight. This one's probably scratch readable, but not obviously readable, as is with most of them. And here we have Gertrude. This stone's in really good condition. And it's the same sandstone as the other ones. 2 years, 29 days, 1870. And this is Emma. Again, if you know of sites like this, let me know. Right now, I'm still in Huntingdon County, Pennsylvania. I have been slowly going out to Center County, Pennsylvania, Juniata County, Mifflin, Blair. Not too far though. There's still so much history just in this county alone that I'm putting together, if you will, into these videos to let you know that they're here. So again, this is right along a highway that only has a dirt mound and a little groove cut through it so that you can get here. But here's what's really interesting now that I'm looking at it. I'm going to give you a shot of that from the other side. So I thought it was just strictly a hill or a dirt mound, but what I'm actually seeing is that is stone wall. And that stone wall's not young stone wall, that's old stone wall. So that's left over from when the railroad was all the way over here. We'll go take more of a look at that. So based on coming up here, it's possible that there was a rail that ran right on top of this mound. But what I do know definitively is, on the other side of the highway here, remember to look both ways. On the other side of the highway here, we definitively have a mound. And this mound has ties. And I did a little peekaboo onto the other side of this area. And there are lots of train remnants, but those train remnants are located on a property that is clearly marked on all sides as no trespassing. I've been in contact, I haven't been in contact, I've been attempting to contact through telephone calls and through emails, the East Broad Top Railroad Group, and no response. Want to tell you the story about what's back here, but until they respond to me, I can't tell you. At this time, the original name of this cemetery is unknown. The sign for the cemetery says Early Settlers Burial Site, but there's information that refers to it as the Old Canal Cemetery, and it's currently registered as the Shaver Cemetery because when it was rediscovered, there is a stone that has the name of Jane Hannawalt Shaver, and there is some genealogy record that states that Samuel Shaver, son of Peter and Catherine, grandson to Hans, was interned at this location referred to as the home burying ground in Shirley Township, Huntingdon County, near Mount Union. The plots for the interments are unknown, and none of the stones seem to be on any actual interment sites. Some of them are, but most of them aren't. But that's mostly due to the stones being shifted during major floods throughout this area. Let me know in the comments below if you know of stories and locations such as the apparently lost but now found Shaver Cemetery. Remember to like and subscribe below, and I'll see you on the next adventure.